You don't need more consistency, you need momentum. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build momentum. So you don't even need to think about staying consistent anymore because it's just going to come as a result. We're going to split this video into 3 parts, and you might want to grab something to take notes on because the perspective shifts that I'm going to be sharing are ones that have completely changed my life in just the last year and the way that I show up on a day-to-day basis. Part 1 is building momentum. So when it comes to consistency and building momentum with your routine, I like to think about it as a bowling ball at the top of the hill. So imagine the hill's pretty steep and you've got the bowling ball sat at the top. If you tried to stop that bowling ball like with your hand a few meters below it, then you could probably stop it fairly easily. But if you let that bowling ball keep rolling and then you tried to stop it with your hand when it got to the bottom of the hill, your hand is probably gonna get crushed. It's the exact same thing when it comes to building momentum in your fitness journey or a different habit that you're trying to build. You want to make sure that you're on the same side as the momentum's going, because that way it's going to be so much easier to just keep going. Just like at the start, when the bowling ball takes a little while to get rolling and move up to speed, it's gonna be hard at the start of your fitness journey or the start of when you're creating a new habit. For those first few weeks, it's gonna be hard to drag yourself to the gym. You might feel mentally or physically tired when you're training early in the morning or late after work. But as you keep going, as you keep showing up regardless, you're gonna be building that momentum. And eventually, I know it's hard to hear right now, but eventually it will be weird for you not to go to the gym. That's the point we want to aim for, and that's the point that I'm actually at now. So much so that whenever people ask me about consistency, I'm like, I've not thought about that for so long because now it's just second nature and it comes easily to me. If you're currently struggling with consistency, a big mistake that so many people make is relying way too much on motivation. If you're constantly searching for different sources of motivation or motivational videos to keep you going towards your goals, you're going to be looking for a very long time. Studies have actually shown that motivation rarely comes before taking action. But taking action in the first place can be so hard. Like, starting is the hardest part of your entire fitness journey. But the way we can do that is stretching our comfort zone just enough to get the ball rolling. Your comfort zone is like a hair tie. When you initially start making changes to your life or your habits, your routines, it's gonna be difficult because you're stretching the limits of your comfort zone. It's gonna take effort, and this is the hardest part of the process because if you feel like you've messed up or you've fallen off your plan for one day, there can be a massive temptation to go for the all or nothing mindset, just say stuff it, and go back to exactly the same way as you were living before, nice and safe inside your comfort zone. I need to go and get the hair tie now. But as you keep stretching your comfort zone by showing up for yourself or completing that new habit or going to the gym each day, eventually you'll stretch it beyond its elastic limit, and at that point it's now easy for you to keep going because you've expanded your comfort zone. The pain of stretching your comfort zone to build that momentum and the consistency that comes as a result is a lot less than the pain of regret. I want you to ask yourself this question, actually write it down and answer after this video because it's really important. If you keep going with the exact same habits that you have now, where do you see yourself this time next year? Most people think, oh, it will just be exactly the same. But that's not how it works. In reality, what tends to happen is life starts to feel worse. Because when you look back and realize that if you'd only started sooner, then things could be so much different, that regret is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. It's the decisions you make today that will impact future you. So don't go putting it off because future you is going to have to deal with that at some point. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So if that means spending a bit more money to get a gym membership in a gym that's on your route home from work so that you're more likely to actually go to the gym, do that. If it means investing in an effective training and nutrition plan to fast track you to the results that you want, then do that. The sacrifices you make now are an investment in your future self, and your future self is going to thank you for that. I can tell you that for a fact because I've lived it. Last year I made it a point to start investing in my health and fitness, and I've seen amazing progress. I've stepped out of my comfort zone. I've gone to social events that I never thought I would go to. I've done solo traveling and so much more. And just imagine if I'd kept my habits the same at the start of the year, I would not be the person I am today. Yes, I do have a training and nutrition app that I spent months building that will give you a tailored plan specifically so that you can get results for you and your body. But this isn't me saying go and download my app. You could go and download any other app that just gives everyone the same plan. But what I need you to understand is that the time you waste now worrying about what to do do to stay consistent or get consistent results is time you will never get back. Part 2 is really the secret to success. If you're anything like me, you've probably got really big goals, and that is absolutely amazing, and I completely believe that you can achieve them. But when we're starting out, you want to set the bar so low that success is easy for you. There's nothing more discouraging than starting back at the gym, committing to 5 days, getting to day 3, slipping in past your alarm, missing one workout, then just feeling so bad because you've not even managed to stick to the plan for 1 week. And that's a recipe for disaster. You don't need to spend an hour in the gym every day. When you're starting out, you need to commit to the bare minimum. So stop overthinking the amount of time that you're putting into working out. Stop comparing yourself to other people and how long they spend working out. You can see amazing results by training just 30 minutes 3 days a week. And if 30 minutes feels too daunting, then commit to 10. It's all about breaking down your bigger goals or your bigger habits into smaller bite-sized chunks so you can make it so easy for yourself that you don't even have to think about it. Once I've committed to the bare minimum, there's 3 things that I like to do to make sure that I never miss a day. First, you need to set up your environment in your favor. So for example, if you want to start going to the gym in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before, prepare your breakfast the night before so that you don't have any decisions to make as soon as you get out of bed. Every single decision that you have to make before doing the habit that you want to build is a potential roadblock that could stop you doing the thing. So by preparing our workout clothes and our breakfast the night before, that eliminates the decision fatigue so you can just go straight from one thing to the next and then get your workout done. Similarly, if you have bad habits that you want to stop doing, you want to make it as hard as possible for yourself to do the habit. So say you had a habit, actually, let's take an example from my own life. I had a really bad habit of just eating peanut butter straight out of the tub just before I went to bed. You can do a few different options, but what I did was once I'd finished that jar of peanut butter, I didn't buy any more. So there was no peanut butter in the house, and for a good month or so, I just didn't have peanut butter. So one option is to go cold turkey like I did, but another option is just to put the jar of peanut butter out of sight, like at the back of the cupboard on the highest shelf in your entire house. If we make it a certain level of hard for ourselves, then we're not going to go through all of that effort just to do the habit for the sake of it. I did find it more helpful to just not have peanut butter in the house completely though, because that removed all temptation and I didn't have to constantly fight that decision fatigue that was going on in my head, like have the peanut butter, don't have the peanut butter. There was no peanut butter, so I basically completely eliminated that bad habit. Then like a month later, I was actually able to reintroduce peanut butter, but now I don't have the same cravings as I had before because I went the whole month without any. I will be completely honest, that approach might not work for everyone, so do what you think will be best, but personally, that worked for me. It's really weird to think though that once I literally could not go a whole day without peanut butter. I could never imagine a point where I couldn't either, and look at me now. Step 2 to success is treat your new habit as an appointment. If you had a really serious illness and you booked a doctor's appointment, you wouldn't just not show up to the appointment because you weren't feeling like it that day. You would go to that appointment because if you left it any longer, then things could get a lot worse. So when it comes to being consistent with the gym, I want you to actually write down when you're going to the gym, on what days, at what time, put it in your calendar so that you're not going to skip it. It would be rude not to show up for someone else, so why wouldn't you show up for yourself? You don't have to go to the gym at the same time every day either. The most important thing is you make it as easy as possible for yourself. So if on some days it fits better into your schedule in the morning and other days it fits better into your schedule in the evening and that's what's easiest for you, go with that. Another really helpful approach is scheduling your gym sessions when you have the most energy. For some people, this will be in the morning. For some people, this will be in the evening, sort of help you de-stress after work. But when you're going into your sessions with more energy, you're likely going to find the whole experience more enjoyable and you'll be able to push yourself harder and get more out of it. Another option for women, when it comes to scheduling your workouts throughout the month, you could try cycle syncing, which is essentially you're going to have different amounts of energy at different points in the month. Just because as a woman, your hormones are so much different to men. There will be weeks where you don't have as much energy as you usually have. You won't be able to lift as heavy as you usually will do. And that can be really frustrating. So you can try tracking your cycle and matching up the type or the intensity of exercise that you do at certain points of the month. And a lot of women find that this really helps because one, you're more aware of what's happening to your body and why you're feeling weaker than usual. And 2, it gives you the permission to not feel like a failure on those days when you can't lift as much. Step 3 to success is really the real reason why you can't stay consistent. And that's because you don't enjoy what you're doing. Think about it. You would never say, oh, I find it so hard to stay consistent with scrolling on social media every single day, even though it really drains you when you finish scrolling. We need to rewire our brains to understand instant versus delayed gratification. When you're scrolling, that is a form of instant gratification because you immediately get that dopamine hit of seeing so much different content. But when you go and work out, that is a form of delayed gratification. Like during your entire workout, you're going to be putting in effort. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really difficult some days. But at the end of it, you'll feel so good. I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than the feeling of just having finished a really solid workout. You honestly feel so accomplished, and it's a really empowering feeling. But what can really help us build consistency is finding a form of exercise that we actually enjoy. That way we can mold in some of that instant gratification along with the delayed gratification to make it like really appealing to go and work out. That means if the gym's not your vibe, don't go to the gym. If you don't know what form of exercise you enjoy, then try everything. Like literally try everything you have the opportunity to try out. Try yoga, try Pilates, try cycling, try running, try spin classes. I tried a spin class once. It was intense. You could even try getting involved with like group activities or sports clubs or things like that. The most important thing with consistency is that you actually enjoy the journey and you're not just doing it for the result. And when you find that form of exercise you enjoy, it's also super important that you celebrate the little wins. Every single step of progress you make, every extra rep you do, every increase in weight that you lift, that is a small achievement, but it's still an amazing marker of your progress, and it's important that you celebrate that. Every time you acknowledge those small successes, that is adding on to the momentum that you're building, and it's going to make it easier for you to keep going. Next, we need to talk about accountability. Your community can make or break you, and something I've learned this last year is that it's so important to surround yourself with people who are aiming for similar goals as you or who are one step ahead of you. There are so many people online telling you to go ghost, cut off everyone around you and go focus on yourself. Yes, lock in, but we're stronger together and you're gonna need all the strength you can get. Accountability is honestly a secret weapon when it comes to your fitness journey, and that's why I included a little community in my app. So in there we can all share our wins and just uplift each other on a day-to-day basis. Never underestimate the power of someone just giving you a text to check in with you. If you find yourself procrastinating going to the gym, then go with a friend. Like literally text each other, arrange a time so that if you don't show up, then you're not just not showing up for you, you're not showing up for your friend either. That's something I did when I was at uni, and it was honestly so good because I was going through a really rough patch with the gym. Like I was leaving it really late, then I didn't really have the motivation to push myself at all. But when I arranged to go with a friend, they messaged me to ask, where are you? And I was like, oh my goodness, I need to go because I'm not showing up, and that makes me a bad friend. So yeah, we all have those periods of low motivation or lack of discipline or consistency. But if you're in it with someone else, if you're not doing it on your own, it makes it so much easier for you to stay consistent. From now on, let's make it a point to keep each other accountable. I'm here for you, but if you feel like you've slipped up, forget about it. The past is in the past and you can't change that, so let's make today day one. The fact that you've made it this far in the video makes you so much more likely than the average person to succeed on your fitness journey. I really appreciate you so much. Let me know in the comments one habit that you want to be more consistent with this year. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to level up this year, and you might enjoy the rest of the self-improvement series here next. Self-improvement is one of my big focuses this year, so make sure you drop any content suggestions in the comments because I read all my comments and I love you guys so much. So I'll see you over there.